right, so let's delve in a little bit more into the idea of brainstorming, workshopping, and the targeted, excuse me, and the targeted edit when we talk about the reviewing process. So one of the things that if you're thinking about putting a review process in place, and you should, as you know, that's something we advocate, obviously, there are different ways that a process can work depending upon your organization. So whatever that is, right, whether it's milestones, agreed upon milestones, that kind of thing, you should incorporate brainstorming. And so when we think about brainstorming, there are lots of different ways to do this. One is to brainstorm before the document is written to assure that the writer is aligned with the goals of the document and that everybody understands who the readers are, that kind of thing. And I will tell you that I'm always surprised when I teach a workshop that people are oftentimes don't agree on who an intended reader is for a document within the same organization and or the same department. So that's a really important thing to understand and to get to the bottom of right away. A lot of folks think that, you know, the primary reader is the gatekeeper or the editor, whatever, and that's typically not the case. As we know, it's the end user. So brainstorm beforehand. What are we trying to achieve with this document? That's a really important piece that oftentimes is a question that goes unanswered. What is it we want to accomplish with this document? What is it that we want our readers to do with this particular document? So that's what brainstorming can do at the beginning. And then we brainstorm throughout, to make sure that people are on track, to make sure your writers are on track, and that everybody is aligned with the goals of the document. Because it's very easy, as you know, with writing to kind of get sidetracked and start going in a different direction. So when you think about creating that process, think about building in opportunities for brainstorming. It doesn't have to be long. You can take 15 minutes every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, just to brainstorm. A second piece of that, of course, is workshopping. And workshopping the document means to everybody gets a pre-read, you send it to whomever. You know, lots of times I suggest sending it to people who don't have any knowledge of what it is that you're talking about, because good writing is good writing is good writing, right? When I first started my business, I worked a lot with pharma. I didn't know the first thing about pharma, but I knew what a good document meant, right? I could, because I'm logical and I'm reasonable and all that kind of fun stuff. So even if somebody is unfamiliar with the topic, they should be able to understand the gist of the document, right? So there are groups, there are organizations that do that. They pull in somebody or some people that don't have any knowledge of the topic, right? For that whole notion of, you know, is it readable? Can I understand what's going on? I may not be able to execute on it, but certainly I know what it is. And so with workshopping, you know, everybody gets a pre-read, they come together, they mark up the documents beforehand. Ideally, if they don't have time to do that, that's fine. And then they all meet and they discuss the document, right? What are the pros? What are the cons? That kind of thing. Generally, we don't go line by line. I know organizations, well, they'll bring everybody into a meeting, they show the document on a screen, and they go through it line by line. I just can't imagine anything worse. There's lots of things worse, but that would be right up there. So that's one way to do that. How often do you workshop? Depends upon the document type. You can build that into your process, into your timeline, but that's something to think about. And then the final way to do this is what we call the targeted edit. Or review, whichever one. But the targeted edit is where we go to folks and we say, hey, Pam, you're really good at understanding writing for skimmers. Can you read through this and make sure that the document is written for skimmers, that the first and the last paragraph work together? Sure, I'm happy to do that. So here's the beauty of the targeted edit. It asks me to focus on one thing only, not 10 or 12 or 20. So my attention is very focused on that one thing, number one. Number two, it allows me to parse my time in such a way that I know what the expectations are. Instead of getting a 20-page document that you ask me to edit or review, I'm getting a very targeted task. Right, so I'm much more likely to do it in the allotted time frame. Notice I said the allotted time frame. You know, you have to give people deadlines. The other beauty of the targeted edit is that the writer is going to get specific feedback on whatever concepts there are that you all have decided that you're going to focus on. So whatever those 5 or 10 concepts are right, we would then ask people within the organization to focus on one of those tasks or one of those concepts within the document. The other thing that I recommend with the targeted edit is that you switch the tasks. So today I might be, or for this document, I might be looking for, skimmers, but next time you want me to look for logic, right? That kind of thing. Here's the beauty of doing that, is that it strengthens everyone's skills, right? So by changing up the tasks, I'm then forced to, okay, logic, what's involved in that, and that kind of thing, and then go through that. So there's lots of ways to incorporate tasks along the way that are going to end up making the document a better document overall.